Fear is the path to the dark side. For any of you who are Star Wars fans, you know this is a line that Master Yoda says to young Anakin Skywalker to warn him that if he continues on the path that he's on, he will turn into Darth Vader, which of course is ultimately what happened. How many times in your life have you acted out of fear? I can't tell you how many times I've done it in my life, too many times. And it's a horrible feeling to base your decisions out of fear. It feels powerless. And those times that I did act out of fear are responsible for some of the most unhappy times in my life. Back in 2008, I had just graduated from college, and I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do for work, but I was looking for financial stability. I was looking for something that had social prestige, basically something that looked like a job that my dad had. My aunt used to work for Wells Fargo. She worked for them for about 40 years, and I had heard it was a good company, and so I applied and became a personal banker there. And I moved out to Orange County and moved in with my aunt and uncle who also live out there, and stayed with them for a year and a half as I worked for Wells Fargo. And I don't think I really knew what I was getting into, but after only about 4 months of working there, I knew it wasn't right for me, but I stayed there because I didn't know what else to do. And I was scared because of that. I was scared of being poor. I was saving all my money. I wasn't spending anything. I wasn't doing the things that I wanted to be doing. I think deep in my heart, I knew that what I really wanted was to be writing, speaking, and traveling the world. But I had this idea that following your passions equals poverty, and I was paralyzed by that, and I was stuck, and I didn't even have the courage to move out on my own either because I didn't believe in myself. I didn't think that I could support myself. My perceptions were that I wasn't good enough for some reason. Who knows why I thought this way, but I just remember being deeply, deeply afraid. So after about a year and a half, I moved back to Las Vegas, and I continued to work as a banker there and stayed with the bank for a total of 6 years. And I'm glad I quit when I did, because that 6 years could have easily turned into 30 if I didn't wake up and change how I think about the world and how I think about myself and what I believe is possible. I was in danger of turning into Darth Vader, and unfortunately this happens to so many people who don't believe they have a choice and they don't trust themselves for whatever reason. It's usually a series of decisions we made throughout our lives about how things are and who we are and what we believe is possible. That's why I always laugh when I hear people say that they're trying to be realistic about things. Well, who's to say what is real and what's really possible? A really great quote that I wanted to give you was from a 1986 interview with Joseph Campbell by Bill Moyers called The Power of Myth. And he talks a lot about Star Wars and that, and what happened to Anakin Skywalker and how he ended up turning into Darth Vader. And I'll read you a short quote from that. And Joseph Campbell said, "The monster masks that are put on people in Star Wars represent the real monster force in the modern world. When the mask of Darth Vader is removed, you see an unformed man, one who is not developed as a human individual. He's a bureaucrat, not living in terms of himself, but in terms of an imposed system." And this was totally me for 6 years, so thank God I got out of there. And it's not to say that I'm not grateful for my experience living that way, but who knows what would have happened to me if I would have stayed and not trusted myself. Ultimately, if you want to be fulfilled in what you're doing and live joyfully, you're going to have to trust yourself, and you cannot listen to anyone, because your life is unique and no one else is like you, and no one else can be a guide for you as far as what is best for you. And one caveat to this is, when you pursue this path of trusting yourself, trusting your instincts, trusting your intuition, people are going to tell you that you're wrong, that you're selfish, and maybe even crazy. But don't listen to them. Keep doing what you want, and don't be afraid. Thank you for watching.